There's been more rainy days than I'm used to with winter coming to Australia. So I thought, why not bring you along on a quick build with Paperform? We'll be utilizing the calculation field to build and share a price quote generator. Let's get straight into it. Hey everyone, Alex here from Paperform, and today I wanted to show off Paperform's calculation field, an amazing feature that lets you filter and format your form data, ultimately expanding your form's functionality. It's a perfect solution for businesses that need more power from their forms and want to create an engaging and interactive experience for the submitters or customers. So let's just jump straight into the build. To get started, just head over to your Paperform dashboard, but if you don't have an account, do not stress because we actually offer a free trial with no credit card details required. So sign up, log in, then from your dashboard, you're going to want to hit that beautiful Create a Form button. You can then begin your build using one of our beautifully designed templates, but for this example, we are going to start with a blank canvas, starting from scratch. Now it's time for the fun. Let's start building. I'm going to create a website design request form, and I'll be utilizing the calculation field to generate a quote depending on my user's answers. A price quote generator, or in this instance, a web design quote generator, is a must-have tool when first communicating with your leads or your future clients and customers. A well-designed quote generator adds a touch of professionalism to your business. It demonstrates your efficiency by already having a streamlined process in place, builds trust through transparency and a breakdown of costs, but most importantly, it allows you to quickly respond to inquiries and frees up time so you can focus on other parts of your business or spend that free time with your much loved ones. Now, the first thing we need to do is add the necessary fields for the submitter to enter their information. Let's start with the basic fields like name, email, and phone number, and we'll just use the / command shortcuts to create each of these fields. Okay. Sweet. Now it's time to build the quote flow. This is where you ask your submitter the necessary questions to calculate a quote for the project. Broad questions such as what type of website do you need, which will make a drop-down field. And more specific questions like how many pages will your website have? We can then configure our questions by selecting the cogwheel icon found to the right here. And for this multiple choice question, I'll provide the options landing page, blog, e-commerce, and corporate. Nice. Now I'll change the field type for this question to number field. And let's look at implementing logic on our form. Follow me. Heading to configure, you can enable question visibility logic to define when a question should be visible. If my submitter wants a landing page, they only need one page created. So it is pointless for me to ask them this question. Enabling logic on your forms will create a more personalized experience and ensure your potential clients remain engaged. Okay, we'll create some more questions. Now, I take into account multiple factors when generating a quote for a client: website type, website size, website content. What do they need? How will the written content be sourced? Will images be required? Videos? Do we need to create motion graphics? Then, of course, we'll also need to consider the extended functionality of the website, what will need to be added, photo galleries or slideshows, social feed, perhaps a map with geolocations or online forms. Now, I'm being incredibly broad with my questions because this is merely an example build. Oh, we should also include SEO optimization. Great. Now let's move on to the exciting part of this build. But before I begin building the quote generator to calculate the total price, depending on my users' inputs, I want you to see how you can make this build or any form you create more personal and engaging for your submitter. Answer piping. What's this? Well, with this feature, you can display a submitter's response in other parts of your form. So I'm just going to show you here. I've split this group here. Then I'm going to type 2 forward-facing curly brackets and search for the name question field. I'll select that. Now, if we go to the live view of our form and we answer the first question, look. To learn more about the answer piping, check out the answer piping guide, which I diligently linked in the video description. But we've got to move on. Heading to the calculation field, which we've just created, we'll begin the formula to calculate our quote. So we need to factor in the following. We need to factor the website type, how many pages, content required, the website functionality and add-ons, and whether the website needs to be SEO optimized. Now, much like we can use answer piping to display or pull in our submitters' responses on other parts of our form, we can pull in our submitters' responses into our calculation formula by selecting the icon here. Okay, we're going to go through each individual question, starting with the website type. I am charging $500 for a basic landing page. So let's create a variable, website type, and we're going to use a switch statement. If the submitter selects landing page, then the value of 500 is attributed. Now blog, a base rate of 1,000. E-commerce will go 2,500. And corporate, we'll just go 1,500. Okay, closing that statement. If you're unfamiliar, basically the switch statement checks the value selected by the submitter. If it matches any of these, then it attributes the correlating value. If you just watched this and thought, I have no clue what he is talking about, then go ahead and watch the video linked above. It's a deep dive into the calculation feature where I explain what the calculation field is and how to use it. So check that out and then come back and follow me. Okay, moving on, number of pages. How can we do this? Again, we'll include a variable, of course, and this time we'll use an if statement. For websites that need more than 3 pages, I'll charge a fee of 500. Then for 6 or more, 1,000, and anything over 10 will be 2,000. So I'll just quickly close that. That one was easy. Next, we'll close the statement so we continue to content needed. Okay, for content needed, again, we'll use a switch statement, applying a value to each content option. I'm just gonna quickly work my way through this. We'll chuck that value there. Sweet, we'll just quickly close that statement. Nice. Now, using a switch statement again for the functionality or the add-ons question. Just bear with me as I run through this. I'll chuck in that value there. And cool. Now, finally, using an if statement, we can attribute a value of 1,000 if they select yes to needing their website SEO optimized. That's simple enough. And I'll just close that statement. Now, all that is left to calculate the total of all. Simple. Let us type each variable, adding to the next. And voila. Now change the question, the calculation question, so it's visible. And that's it. We've built our price quote generator using Paperforms calculation field. If you wanted to apply the price calculator to your form and prompt a payment from your submitter, you can head to configure payments and you'll add a custom pricing rule to attribute that value to the form. But I'm gonna leave this for now. And instead, let's test out the quote generator by previewing the form. But first, actually, I want to quickly change the look of my form as I'll be sharing this with potential clients. So I need to ensure that my branding is on point. Heading to the theme editor, let me just quickly alter the fonts used. I'll go into, nice. Then I'll change that active color to my brand's color. And I also actually want to remove the background and shadows from my questions. Your elements do. Cool. Now, actually, I want my form to be more conversational and give submitters a more closely guided experience. So let me change this form to guided mode. With guided mode enabled, the form will display one question at a time, and most question types will automatically advance to the next page once it has been answered. Now, time to take a look. So we're gonna head up to that eye icon up there and view our form in the live view. And let us quickly work through the quote flow or the form. Of course, I gotta provide my details. Notice how as I answer a question, it's moving on to the next, keeping your submitter engaged. Points for that. Nice. And I'm just gonna select some options here. What do I need? Groovy. Nice. Groovy, how good is that? But rather than displaying the quote before the submitter completes the form, I'm going to jump back into the calculation field and we'll make that hidden again so they can't view that. And they have to submit the form to actually receive a quote. Now I have a couple of options. I could send the quote price through email by heading to after submission email, creating a custom email, typing in the submitter's email address so this email automatically sends to them when they hit submit, and in the body, piping in the generated quote. Or I could add a dynamic success page by again heading to after submissions and toggling on dynamic success pages, adding one, and then much like the email, piping in that quote into the success page that the submitter will see once they hit submit. Groovy. Well, Paperform offers various features to enhance your price quote generator. You can customize the design, add conditional logic to define how the submitter views the form and the experience they receive. You can use answer piping to display a submitter's response elsewhere within the form, making the experience more personal and engaging, and even integrate your form with other tools to automate your workflow. You could automatically create a new task in your project management tool by heading to integrations and webhooks, and that will remind you to pursue this client. To share your form, head up to share, and this is where you can collect your unique URL. Or you can actually grab the embed code just there and throw it straight into your website like I've done here. Nice. Well, that wraps our tutorial for today. I hope it's been helpful and inspires you to have a go at creating your own generator or workflow using Paperform's calculation field and form builder. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and of course, like and subscribe to the channel for more helpful tutorials. Remember, if you can imagine it, you can Paperform it.